consulting top experts at NIH and FDA, HHS has determined that mRNA technology poses more risks than benefits for these respiratory viruses. That's why, after extensive review, BARDA has begun the process of terminating these 22 contracts totaling just under $500 million.
A $500 million vaccine shakeup. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. pulls the plug on mRNA shots. The U.S. Health Department is pulling the plug on 22 vaccine projects, all built on controversial mRNA technology. That's a whopping $500 million in funding canceled overnight. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. made the announcement on Tuesday, August 5th, sticking to his long-held skepticism of mRNA vaccines. Since taking office, Kennedy has scrapped COVID-19 vaccine mandates, dissolved the expert panel on immunization, and has refused to push strong vaccination campaigns even as measles makes a comeback. In a direct video to Americans, Kennedy didn't hold back. He slammed mRNA vaccines and said big pharma giants like Pfizer and Moderna will feel the heat, especially as they work on vaccines for COVID, flu, and bird flu.
Hi, it's Robert F. Kennedy Jr. here, your HHS secretary. At HHS, we have a division called the Biomedical Advanced Research and Development Authority, or BARDA. BARDA drives some of our most advanced scientific research. It funds developments of vaccines, drugs, diagnostics, and other tools to fight emerging diseases and national health threats. Over the past few weeks, BARDA reviewed 22 mRNA vaccine development investments and began canceling them. Let me explain why. Most of these shots are for flu or COVID, but as the pandemic showed us, mRNA vaccines don't perform well against viruses that infect the upper respiratory tract. Here's the problem. mRNA only codes for a small part of the viral proteins, usually a single antigen. One mutation and the vaccine becomes ineffective. This dynamic drives a phenomenon called antigenic shift, meaning that the vaccine paradoxically encourages new mutations and can actually prolong pandemics as the virus constantly mutates to escape the protective effects of the vaccine. Millions of people, maybe even you or someone you know, caught the Omicron variant despite being vaccinated. That's because a single mutation can make mRNA vaccines ineffective. The same risk applies to flu.
But Kennedy says he has a plan. We're replacing these troubled programs with safer, broader strategies, like whole virus vaccines that won't fail when the virus mutates.
HHS has determined that mRNA technology poses more risks than benefits for these respiratory viruses. That's why, after extensive review, BARDA has begun the process of terminating these 22 contracts totaling just under $500 million. To replace the troubled mRNA programs, we're prioritizing the development of safer, broader vaccine strategies, like whole virus vaccines and novel platforms that don't collapse when viruses mutate. Let me be absolutely clear. HHS supports safe, effective vaccines for every American who wants them. That's why we're moving beyond the limitations of mRNA for respiratory viruses and investing in better solutions.
But top public health experts are sounding the alarm. Mike Osterholm from the University of Minnesota didn't mince words, calling it the most dangerous public health decision he's seen in 50 years. His warning? Scrapping mRNA flu vaccine plans could set us back in the race against future pandemics. Dr. Paul Offit from the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia agrees. With bird flu still looming, he says this move is downright risky. mRNA vaccines have already saved millions, he reminds. And it's not just viruses. Scientists are now eyeing mRNA to fight cancer. So what makes mRNA vaccines special? Unlike traditional shots grown in eggs, mRNA vaccines teach your body to fight using just a snippet of genetic code, no live virus needed. Now here's the catch. HHS says the cancellation only affects 22 projects. Other mRNA research within the department will continue. For now, there's still no approved mRNA flu shot, but Moderna was working on one, a combined COVID flu jab, touting it as faster and more flexible than old-school vaccines. On May 21st, the U.S. Senate held a landmark hearing exposing COVID-19 vaccine risks. Dr. Peter McCullough revealed that mRNA vaccines were linked to 74% of examined post-vaccine deaths in a major autopsy study. Alongside top experts and officials, he challenged federal health agencies for downplaying myocarditis and other serious adverse events.
I've presented at the FDA advisory meetings. I've advised companies for decades on this, so I know the regulatory science very well. When a product definitely results in death, and there are thousands of peer-reviewed papers on this, Governor, the COVID vaccines in some people, sadly, result in death. Some on the very first day they take the shot. That must be a black box warning on the product immediately. I just checked the package inserts for the currently available products, the ones that Senator Blumenthal wants to pursue. Sounds like Governor wants to still pursue these. Our FDA still wants them to be administered. They still don't have the word death in the package insert. As of today, they don't. And so Americans are not fairly informed.
Do you have any doubt in your mind that the COVID injection caused some deaths? I mean, what do you think of the, 38,607 right now listed on VAERS? What do you think the real number is? And do you have any science to back up your opinion?
The best data are autopsies. So in the largest autopsy series published to date, I know because I'm the senior author, of all the deaths we examined, and we re-reviewed them. We had an adjudication committee. We had ways of arbitration deciding on did the vaccine cause death. The answer is, of these cases that came in for autopsy after vaccination, 73.9% of individuals, it was determined that the vaccine was the cause of death. First author is Holscher and colleagues, who's sitting right behind me.
And again, by FDA's own laws, that should be included on that package insert, correct?
Immediately in 2021, Dr. Carol Tassetta, working with the Daily Cloud, wrote Peter's Marks in the summer of 2023 and said, where's the black box warning? Where is it? No word from Marks.
Dr. Vaughn, you want to weigh in on the informed consent?
Well, the other thing is, I think emergency use authorization, actually by definition, when you fill out the documents for the patient, if they read it, it actually says that they should make sure that they are under no compulsion to get this product. And that is what's so confusing, because even though the product was mandated in the summer, at the end of the summer of 2021, the product on the shelves was still the EUA product. And in that sense, for somebody to be mandated to something that they also have to sign to say that they weren't mandated to do it is kind of hard to do legally.
By the way, that's the subject of a couple oversight letters in terms of the whole full authorization type of thing. Dr. Thorpe, quickly?
Yes. On informed consent, there was completely the opposite in pregnant women. HHS appears to have captured the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, and my research team, including Maggie Thorpe, JD, have proven that with the Freedom of Information Act.
For a few million dollars, correct?
Many $1 million. They captured ACOG. In December of 2020, everybody at ACOG and the other organizations, we're not going to push this vaccine in pregnant women. In the span of a pregnancy, 40 weeks, September 27th, 2021, you will push the vaccine, you will push it in pregnant women and follow all the HHS criteria. And if you don't, we will destroy you and your professional career will take your license away and we will decertify you. That went out to 60,000 OBGYN doctors. So
we probably should have expanded the title of this: corruption of science, federal health agencies, what would you call those? Professional organizations?
These are the three organizations that essentially govern obstetrical care, not just in the United States of America, but the whole world.
By the way, I wanted to ask you, to what extent are the medical journals funded by various conflicting organizations, pharmaceutical companies? I've heard Chinese interests. I mean, are you aware of that? You were talking about the article written by the editors of the New England Journal of Medicine. Yes,
I'm aware of the study by Wen and colleagues, David Daniel Wen, that was just published October 10th of 2024, documenting that 1.06 billion with a B dollars went to the reviewers of the medical journals, of probably the most influential medical journals, New England Journal of Medicine, Lancet, BMJ.
And that's coming out of the pharmaceutical industry.
That's correct.
So, Dr. Walscott, as a vaccine injured, do you believe you received informed consent?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, informed consent, and I, as a physician, I believe strongly in informed consent. Informed consent requires true and transparent data. And we can sit here and hear the mantra or the typical narrative of safe, effective, saved millions of lives, but in reality, that's not true.